I want to actually start off the group and invite you to a body scan meditation. I've done this in many of my groups, but I just think it's a great way to hold space for yourself and what it is that you're feeling. Body scan meditation, again, it brings awareness to your body and how your body is actually feeling. We often manifest stress physically before we actually recognize that we're under stress. A body scan can be a short or long process. It's up to you. You can tailor it to your needs and individualize it and personalize it to how you actually want to do it. But it is just a great tool and resource to use to check in with yourself physically. I usually like to do body scans soon as I wake up to kind of see, like, if I'm carrying any stress or tension in my body, whether it's something that I was struggling with before I went to sleep, if there was, some stress on my mind, or I'm just waking up in, like, a groggy or, funky kind of mood. So I want to invite you all right now to join me in a quick body scan meditation. So wherever you are at, start in a comfortable position, free of distractions. Whether you're sitting or laying down, be sure that your back is supported and you have equal weight distributed through your body. We're going to start with a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. So we will start now. Inhale. Exhale. And I want you to start to feel the weight of your body. As you relax, you should feel heavier, as if you are just a bag of bones. Just kind of release any tension that it is that you're feeling, any pressure. I want you to be able to notice and hone in on wherever it is that you're carrying any extra tension or pressure in your body. So we're going to continue to do deep breaths for 5 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. With each of the inhales, focus on any area of the body, any area of your body, and assess it if it's tense. If so, try to release that tension on the exhale. While scanning through your body, continue to think of your body feeling heavier and heavier, and on that release, let everything go. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, release. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold that breath. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Exhale, release. The last one, inhale, deep from the soul. Exhale, release. Now I want you to notice your feet. Are they warm or are they cold? Can you feel their presence on the ground if you are sitting? Now I want you to move your feet forward in a circular motion 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want you to do the same thing in the opposite direction 5 times. Move your feet backwards in a circular motion 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want you to hone in and assess your legs. Observe your legs. Feel your legs. Feel your legs sinking deeper into the surface. If laying down, you may find your hips and your legs turn out to relax. So if you observe your legs, kind of bend them outwards. And I want you to take your left leg right now and move that leg in a circular motion 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now do the same with the right leg, the opposite leg. 1, circular motion. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want you to observe your back. Bring attention to your back by breathing to release any tension or tightness. So we're going to do a few more deep breaths. Focus on your back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let all the tension go from your back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. When you inhale, deeply, deeply, deeply. And on the exhale, let your back just go. Anything that you feel in your back, let it go. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale any pressure in your back. Exhale, let it go. Last time, breathe in. Let anything go from your back. Any tension you feel in your back, let it go. Okay, and now your hands and your arms. I want you to observe your hands and your arms. Allow your hands to soften and your wrists and your forearms to open. If they feel heavy, relax it. So I want you to clench your hands in a fist and then relax. And we'll do that 5 times. So we'll start with whichever hand you prefer to start with, whether it's your left or your right. I'm going to start with my left. Clench in, clench into a fist, relax. Clench in, relax. Clench in, relax. Clench, 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 clench. Relax. Last one. Clench, relax. Now the opposite hand. Clench your hand end in a fist. Open. Clench in a fist. Open. Clench, relax. Clench, relax. Clench, relax. Shake your fingers out. Shake your hands out. Wiggle those fingers. Shake, 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 shake. Now hone into your shoulders. Are your shoulders raised? Many times we carry tension and stress in our shoulders. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. Now move your shoulders in a circular motion 5 times forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now move your shoulders in a circular motion backwards 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now observe your neck and your throat. Allow your neck and your throat to soften. We'll do neck rolls 5 times in a circular motion forward. Roll your neck in a circular motion 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now opposite in a backwards direction in a circular motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now notice and observe your jaw. Is your jaw locked or tight? Allow your jaw to open and soften as much as possible. Open your jaw very wide as you can go, and close. So open wide and relax. We'll do that 5 times. Open as wide as you can and then relax any tension in your jaw. Open, relax. Open, relax. Stretch your mouth as wide as possible. Open, relax. Open, relax. Open, relax. Last one. Open, relax. And now I want you to breathe just 3 more times for me. Take a really deep breath from the bottom, the pits of your soul. Deep breath in. Hold it. Release. Inhale. Hold it. Really deep breath. Really deep inhale. And whatever tension that you feel in your body or any pressure anywhere, I want you to release it. Release. And this is the last one. So I want you to do a really, really, really deep, deep, deep inhale. Breathe in. Release. And as you bring awareness back to your whole body, I want you to notice any differences you may have you're feeling from the beginning. You can open your eyes now if your eyes happen to be closed. Kind of wiggle, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And that's that. That is a body scan meditation, and anyone can do it. Again, I think it's a great way to bring awareness to your body and how it's feeling. Sometimes it's emotional labor to actually name what it is that we're feeling, or sometimes we're not even able to name. We're not able to name or identify our emotions, but we are able to know that our bodies may be under some type of stress. Again, our bodies manifest stress physically before we're actually able to identify that we're under stress. So being able to carve out periods in your day to check in with yourself and check in, do those little body scans, I think it's a great resource to have, because again, if you do that throughout the day, you're going to be able to identify, like, hey, I'm carrying tension here, right? Before it escalates into something that can potentially be, I know many times people are like, I have headaches, stress headaches, heartache headaches, I'm feeling all of the feels, but I don't know, like, my body, I'm not able to really understand what's going on. So if you check in with yourself throughout the day, and it can be as long as you want it to be, those body scan meditations, you can actually do it longer. That was just a brief, quick one. I mean, it wasn't really quick, but it's quicker than what I usually do, because I like to be able to hold space for myself and be able to start. If you start your day, I think it's a positive way to start your day off by engaging in body scan meditations and just kind of being consistent with checking in with yourself throughout the day. So I hope that helps for someone. I see some more people just joined the room. I just want to kind of welcome you all. Good evening, Barry. Good evening, Rosa. Good evening, Lily. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We just engaged in a brief body scan meditation with some deep breathing exercises and some quick hand and feet grounding exercises, just being able to check in with ourselves. Like I said to the other members, it's a great way to bring awareness to your body and how it's feeling. We often manifest stress physically before we actually even recognize that we're under stress. And going through something such as a divorce, a separation, or just a breakup, right? It already causes so much stress. So being able to kind of start our days with grounding ourselves, identifying what it is, like how our bodies are feeling within our jaws. Sometimes we carry tension and pressure in our jaws, in our shoulders. Sometimes we don't even realize our jaws are clenched so hard because, it becomes normal, especially when you're under stress. Your jaws can be clenched or your shoulders can be very heavy. So just being able to do those type of things. So yeah, that is the body scan meditation. Today, I wanted to talk about future planning. And I know that topic can be very anxiety driven. And the goal for me is not to give you any extra anxiety. Please understand, I know future planning when you're going through a divorce and separation, because your future is currently, like, your reality looks different, right? And I usually encourage members to just kind of stay in the now. Take it hour by hour. I don't even say day by day, because day by day may be too much for some people. But I do think future planning is still essential. And it doesn't have to be future planning in respects to, like, future planning with a partner, but just future planning, like what it is, goals for yourself. kind of discussing barriers to future planning. And I want to kind of open this up by asking you to close your eyes and imagining the future you. What do you see? So close your eyes, imagining the future you. Not you in a relationship, but just the future you as an individual. Future you. What do you see? What would it feel like or look like when you're in a place of peace for the future you? So kind of close your eyes, think about that really quick. And whenever someone is ready to speak, you have the floor to do so. So imagine future you and what would it look like in a state of peace. And not even future you. If you're able to imagine that right now for yourself, what would peace look like for you? I think peace is, essential, but I do understand the nuances of going through a separation and divorce where you may not feel like peace is tangible for you right now. You may feel like it's so hard to think about peace because of heartache, heartbreak, or, if you were in a toxic relationship. So there's so many different things, and peace looks different for everyone, right? But being able to imagine that, because I want us to get in the mindset of, even if you can't envision yourself in a peaceful state right now because you're going through so much, knowing that you're still worth it. You still deserve that. So imagining what the future you looks like and what peace looks like for you in your life. What would you want it? What does that look like? Have you sat and thought about that? What are those things look like? What does a peaceful life look like for you as you go through, as you chart this renewed path with Divorce to Destiny? That's what this group is about, being able to hold space for you with the current state that you're in, of course, going through the separation and divorce, but being a mirror to show you that there is so much good still left out there. There's a rainbow after the storm, and I want you to get in the habit of imagining what that future you and that peaceful state looks like. So if anyone, I would love to hear, what does the peaceful state look like for you? What does future you want? What do you feel like? What do you see? Feel free to share. Yeah, so the floor is yours for whoever would like to speak. Nay, you have the floor, my friend.
So for me, at least I'm looking at it within the next year is hopefully graduating school. Um, if not, still working hard to accomplish, my studies and scale up in my education or my career. And then in terms of other goals, just um, keeping a peace of mind and giving back to those that have supported me and just enjoying life altogether, right? So it could be like those little trips here and there, um, just kind of, living life as best as we can all together. And, for me, I've been um, having a great relationship with my parents, so I would love to spend as much time as I can with them. I realize the older I get, the older they get too. So that means a lot for me. And like you said earlier, it doesn't have to be in a relationship or with a companion. So that's not really on the top of my priority list now. Is to find another relationship to really get over this most recent heartbreak. So just really cruising through and staying as positive as I can. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing, Nay. Thank you for sharing. And I think it's important to also note that, sometimes we're not able to describe, like I said, future planning can be very anxiety driven. So I'm definitely aware of that. So even if you're not able to, describe future you, I want you to be able to describe, what does it feel like? What would you like as an emotion? So even if you don't know where you're going to be, I don't know, a year from now or 5 years from now, but what would you want to feel? What would you want to feel 5 years from now or a year from now? So even if you don't know exactly what future you looks like, or what peace would look like, what would you want to feel? Because I think it's important to know that, right? It's important to know, especially going through such a significant transition in your life. The things that you don't want to feel. You don't want to feel like, I'm pretty sure everyone is in this room because they don't want to feel the pain. They don't want to feel the hurt that divorce and separation and breakups and heartaches have attached to it. So, what is it that you want to feel? What are the emotions that you want to feel? And a lot of times, we go to like happy, and we don't want to feel angry. We don't, surface level emotions, but being able to identify like your real hardcore initial emotions, what it is that these, some of these relationships, I've heard many members, it's it showed them what they don't want. So now you know what you do want, or it's going to help you to learn what it is that you do want, because some people may still be in the dark of like, what is it that I want? That's important to you know to be able to identify, what is it that I want? What is it that I want to feel? What emotions, so what is it that you all want to feel? And I know, of course, joy, but like, what is it? There's so much to it when we talk about, healing and kind of rebuilding ourselves after divorce, separation, heartaches. So I can, I can throw something out, but I really want you all to be able to kind of throw some things out. And I think some of your comments may inspire other people in here on what it is that they may want to feel too. So I'll start with one. Heard. Sometimes me not knowing, of course, where I want to be 5 years from now or a year from now, but I always know one of the main things that I want to feel, how I want to feel, is always heard and seen and validated in my whole entire existence. Just because, like, and not having to do anything to feel heard or seen or have my existence validated. Me being validated just because of who I am as a person, right? I don't want anything attached to that, like what I can do for a person, but just me being able, like, no one having ulterior motives for my relationship, just me as a person. So I see Alex has their hand up.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually really resonated with what you said, so I thank you for sharing that.
Of
Um,
course.
because one thing, like today, I learned um, that I want to be around people that choose to love, not around people where I feel like I have to earn their love. And in the past, I've always felt like I had to earn love. And I'm realizing that with healthy individuals, they typically choose to love you, and that's a choice that they make every day. So I want to be around people who choose to love me, not where I have to earn it. And then uh, I also want to take up more space I've always been like an only child, very reserved. My childhood trauma is more so like I had emotionally immature parents, so I was sort of neglected. But it wasn't like an intentional neglect. It was like, you know, they were just trying to get things done, and it was not easy, right? Because they were young parents. So for me, it's learning to take up space in my adulthood, whether that's speaking more or um, taking up more space in a room. Like sometimes I would just sit in the back of an auditorium, like this time, hey, let me sit in the front or maybe the middle. Um, so that's how I'm trying to picture it in terms of like little baby steps, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes a lot of sense, Alex, and I want to thank you for sharing that. I It sounds like you have a lot of self-awareness, even the fact that you were able to identify. I heard you when you spoke about your parents, and you stated that they didn't intentionally do certain things, but it still happened, right? And I always stress to members that intent does not necessarily always equal impact. So being able to understand that although that was not their intention, they were young, you were able to still identify that it still impacted you in a way, and now you want to be able to utilize healthy coping skills and deal with that. Like, this happened to you, right? But now as an adult, you're like, I'm going to be the one to take control. It's unfortunate that my parents were young, but you're able to identify that it wasn't intentional. It wasn't something that, they may not have had the skills to kind of work through it or navigate that situation. But now you, as an adult, you're aware of that, and you're now going to take some skills that you're learning to navigate your own healing journey and be very, assertive in doing so. So I just want to say my hat is off to you. Kudos to you. It sounds like you're doing a lot of inner work, and that's what this is all about. Um, Inner work is not
Thank
easy.
you.
You're
That means a
welcome.
lot. Yeah,
Of,
thank you.
of course. And I know that's not easy. So, but I heard you when you spoke, and um, it definitely, like, it did not fall on deaf ears. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Um, Yeah, that was good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I see we have Erin just joined. Hello, Erin. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. We're just kind of going around having an open discussion right now. And like I said, it's not lost on me. Tonight's topic of discussion is future planning, but it's not lost on me that future planning can be so anxiety driven when we talk about the future, especially when you're already going through such a significant transition in your life, such as divorce and separation. So I'm not trying, please, hear my heart. I'm not trying to give you any anxiety about the future. I just want us to kind of get into the mindset. I want to invite you and kind of challenge you to start thinking about what would it look like or feel like when you're in a place of peace, because I think it's important to discuss those things. I don't even want to discuss future dating. What would it look like when you get in a dating pool, or kind of find someone else, but just what would it look like for you? What would it feel or look like when you are in a place of peace? So you can kind of close your eyes and imagine the future you. What do you see? And it doesn't have to be like work related. I mean, if you want to share about work, that's fine. But what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would and I say feel because I like to attach emotions to things, right? Sometimes we're not able to describe what our future is going to look like because it's a lot to think about. But what would it feel like? Or what would you want it to feel like? If you don't know what it's going to feel like, what would you prefer for it to feel like? because the common denominator in this room, everyone is in this room because they want a new path. This room is called Divorce to Destiny. Divorce to Destiny, charting a renewed path. So you want something better than what's currently going on, right? You want to be in a healthier a space. You want to not let the divorce or separation consume you. You are coming to terms with the divorce or separation, heartache, heartbreak is just a chapter in your life, and it's not your whole story. You're coming to terms with knowing that you are the author of this story and you have the pen to rewrite it however you see fit. So, with that being said, as you rewrite your story, you're able to rewrite what you want the future you to look like. And not just write it, but actually engage in that. Because when you're able to say and identify what it is that you want, or what it is that you plan, you can make it come to pass. It's more about engaging in those ways, right? So what would you want your future to, again, if you can't talk about what you wanted your future to look like, you can talk about what you want it to feel like. What do you want to feel? The future you, of course, I know you want to feel happy and joy, but those are kind of like surface level emotions. So kind of getting down, like I said, I gave an example before Alex spoke, and I said, just to kind of get people's minds to thinking, I want to feel validated. I always want to feel validated. I always want to, future me, even current me, I want to be able to feel validated just for who I am. Not because of anything that I'm doing, not because of any of the titles or hats that I wear, but just for my existence. And I think everyone in this room deserves to feel validated just for who they are, not anything that they've done, but as human beings, you deserve that. That's your birthright. So, what would you want? I see Beth just entered the room. Hello, Beth. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
It's good to hear your healing voice. I just jumped out of room because I'm like, yay, Rashida's in the room. Yay.
Well, I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad that you jumped out of somebody else's room, but I'm glad. I welcome you always, Beth. I welcome you, and I thank you for your light and sharing and your kind words to me. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, this is an open discussion, you all. What would you want your future you to feel like? What do you want your future you to feel like? What do you want future you to be like? Is there any hopes? Is there anything specific that you want to work on? Beth, I see you have your hand up, so you have the floor, my friend.
Okay, well, I'm in that transition place, so I'll tell you, I'm thinking about what you're saying, okay, and I'm imagining myself like in 10 years going, you made things harder than you needed to. All you needed to do was step out in faith and believe in yourself. And how many times have you shown yourself through facts, not feelings, that you're an overcomer? And so imagine if you didn't take those steps out in faith. Imagine where you'd be now and where you are today. Because you would have not changed. You would have been the same person. And look where you are now. You're fulfilling your vision. You're doing it. You're doing what you said that was in your heart. You're helping others. You have financial freedom. You're part of this orphanage that you feel connected to, and you've been able to really serve God and bless others in a lot of ways. And so, I just wanted to tell you that I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you decided to stop listening to the lies and to stop listening to the things that are holding you back, when every single time you were able to kick that into the curb. That you've always had a good mind, you've always been a good problem solver, and you've always been there for others. So I just wanted to congratulate you for taking that step out, that when you do go one day and pass over and transition, you're going to be proud to see God, and he's going to be really happy with you that you made that final step. You really stepped out and you really believed and you just did it. You didn't think about it anymore. You just did it.
I love that, Beth. I love that. So profound. I love that. I love that. I love that. And the fact that you actually even went and gave yourself like a whole, like you ministered to yourself. I literally, the next, one of the next activities I was going to invite you all to actually do is drop in the chat for me a sentence or two of something that you would say like to yourself now, where you're currently at, some encouraging words that you would say to yourself, or not even just yourself, but someone else who may be going through the same thing. What would you say to them? Two to three sentences, or even if you want to share out loud. And I want to kind of go around and share those things, because I think it's important for us to be able to honor ourselves, because you are currently a mirror. Like everything that you just said to yourself, Beth, are things that you will be able to look back on and repeat to yourself. And who knows, it can be next month you're able to repeat this to yourself. And I know sometimes when we're in the thick of it, you're not able to kind of see out of it. So I'm glad that you're able to kind of reaffirm yourself and do those things. But I wanted you all to be able to write this, and I wanted you to write it in the chat. But I also want to invite you to also write yourself on a piece of paper tonight, even after the session is up, 2 to 3 words to your future you, or to someone who's going through similar things that you're going through. And you can paste it or put it anywhere around your house, but somewhere where you can see it on a daily as a little reminder of, I am going to make it out of this. Right now, this is a temporary situation. Emotions are fleeting. I cannot stay down this whole time, right? Like this is a section of my life. This is a chapter in my life, but it's not my full story. This is one experience, and this experience is hard. It's hard. It's caused you all a lot of heartache. It's caused you a lot of pain, but I want those 3 sentences to be to the future you, so you can reflect on it. So it can give you something to look forward to think about. Like, you're currently talking to the future you, who you know is going to make it out of this situation that you are currently in. So you are currently going to minister to like yourself right now as a future you, knowing like, this is not the end all be all. There's so much life left in me. Divorce is not the end of my story. It's a chapter of my story. Separation is a chapter in my story. Heartbreak is a chapter in my story. Heartache is a chapter in my story, but it's not the end. So if you can all just kind of write or even say it, but I want you to write it, because I want to give you a few minutes to think about it. I don't want you to just, say it. I mean, Beth, you said it all and that was amazing. But I mean, I want to kind of give other people just a few minutes to think about what they would actually say to themselves. And if you don't feel comfortable sharing, that's totally fine too. I get that. But if you do, I think your words can inspire somebody tonight, and your testimony could be someone else's breakthrough. So I invite you and I encourage you all to share, and just drop in the chat, or even write to yourself on a little paper right now, or even write in your phone notes. If you have an iPhone, I know they have notes on the phone where you can write little memos. And this was a little tool that I used to do for myself. I will write myself encouraging words when I'm going through a dark time or moment in my life, and my notes on my iPhone, and then I would turn it into my wallpaper. So every morning or anytime I'm using my phone and my phone goes blank, I'm able to see that message kind of pop up, and I'm able to read it throughout the day. So that was something that I used to do. I mean, right now my baby is my wallpaper, but seeing my daughter. But outside of that, I used to like just write little, it would be like scriptures, little poems, little messages, anything to myself just to kind of encourage me while I'm going through a challenging time. I see, Beth, you have your hand up, so you have the floor, my friend.
Okay, I want to give other people opportunity, but since you mentioned that, I was wondering if you know of an app. I want to do reminders throughout the day, of an app that's, that will go off like every couple hours, to remind me that I am worthy to be loved, and just different things. I'm one choice away from success. Just different things. You know what I mean? That I need to be kind to myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? One
Yeah.
moment of my life of grief is not forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah, of
just want to be
course.
able to, and I really felt that was God inspired when it was like a week ago. I had that thought and I'm like, but I don't know. I mean, I need a simple app because I don't like how all these apps are complicated and I don't know. Do you know of any?
No, unfortunately, I don't know of any, but I see Erin has their hand up, so I think maybe they may have one. Erin,
Yeah,
do you?
I couldn't wait to jump in when you said that because I feel that. And I found an app called I Am, and it's also the same company that makes an app called Motivation, and I'll be sure to put those in the chat. But they pop up on my phone or my Apple Watch throughout the day, and I stop and I make myself read them, and I just feel so much better. Like having that fed to me, because it's easy for me right now to kind of go to a negative mindset, and that kind of reminds me to like bring more positivity in my life. So check out I Am, and then check out Motivation. You can use them for free, but I ended up getting the subscription, which wasn't much, but it definitely was a great investment.
Well, thank you for sharing that beautiful resource, Erin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure other members will feel that is beneficial. I will also check it out as well. Um, so yeah, we have about 10 minutes left. I'll give you about a minute or so, two minutes to, again, if anybody's ready to share, they can share. If you don't feel comfortable sharing, you can write it in the chat and I can read it out loud. But I would love to hear your sentences to future you. So, or you, excuse me, you right now from future you. And if you don't have anything that you would say, think about some things that you just simply want to hear. Maybe some words of encouragement that you will want to hear from your loved ones or someone closest to you to kind of, boost the morale or like how you're feeling, what it is that you actually will want to hear, whether it's I'm proud of you, keep going, I don't know, but those are, I think, sometimes words of affirmations and encouragement from people that we love can also help. So thinking about the things that you may have not heard and you may kind of yearn for, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What do you want? What are some things that, I guess, some of your unmet needs for positive affirmations or words of encouragement? What are some things that you may desire to hear? So that's also another thing that you can think about as well. All right, we have 8 minutes left. Does anyone have anything? Any words? Any encouraging words? And again, even if it's not for you, maybe encouraging words to other members, being a mirror for your peers right now, and maybe someone who is further along in their divorce or separation journey. What would you tell someone that's newly into the journey? I know, again, people say things like, it gets better with time, but I don't want to just scratch the surface. Like, I want the good stuff. So what would you say? Erin, I see you have your hand up. You have the floor, my friend.
Yeah, I think I would say just keep showing up for yourself. Show up in here. And I say that because I thought I was good. Like, I thought I made it through some of the toughest parts, and I really felt like I was doing well. But it comes back. So don't, like, I think I just walked away from being, like, showing up for myself a little too soon. So keep showing up, even in here.
Yes, definitely. Erin, I appreciate that. I think that is definitely profound. Keep showing up. And again, right, showing up looks totally different for everyone. So the way one person may show up may look different from the next one. And also giving yourself the grace, because sometimes you may, in your previous chapter, you may be used to showing up at a level 10, and right now you may only be able to show up at a level 7. So give yourself grace to know that even if you're not showing up as your best self at that 10 that you want to show up as, the fact of the matter is that you're still showing up and you're still kind of getting to it. It may not always look the way you imagine it to look, but extending yourself that grace and being gentle with yourself during that time. And I see on here, Erin, it says you're a mother to 2 wonderful kids, 6 and 10. One thing that I would offer you as a fellow mom myself is, when we show up and on the days that we may not show up as our best selves, and this is to anyone else, but I'm kind of just, I read Erin's bio, so I kind of wanted to just extend this to her. The same compassion and the same way that we speak to our children when things happen, or they make a boo-boo, or they mess up and they feel like they disappoint us, or they fail a test, or whatever it is, the same compassion that we extend to them is the same compassion that we have to be able to extend to ourselves. So the same way we parent them in those moments of despair, in those moments of their own heartache, the moments where they may, grow older and get a partner, and they may potentially receive heartbreak, the same way that we would talk to them is the same way that we have to talk to ourselves during this time. It's the same way that we have to be gentle with ourselves. And many times during a divorce or separation or any significant transition in our life, or when things may look totally different and things may look new, sometimes we can be our toughest and our harshest critics. But we wouldn't do that to our children, right? We wouldn't talk to them in a way. And it's internal things. Sometimes it's internally, like, we may not say it out loud, but sometimes we may internally beat ourselves up or internalize certain behaviors that someone else did, or it'll lead us to questioning our worth and attaching our worth to such and such. So I just want to give you that friendly reminder, as well as everyone else in here, being mindful of the way that we talk to ourselves. I think that that's something that, if I don't leave you with anything else tonight, I want to leave you with that, being mindful of the way that we talk to ourselves, and not just talk to ourselves, but also think, because our minds are a powerful tool as well. So even if we're not saying these things out loud, but if we're thinking them about ourselves, or we're attaching certain words to our experiences, being mindful of those things. So that's just my TED Talk for the night. We have 3 minutes left, and I see Beth has her hand up, so I'm going to give the floor back to Beth. Beth, you have the floor.
Okay, thanks, Rhashida. You rock. You're amazing. I just love being in your rooms, and I always grow in your rooms. So I was just going to say that just know that you're more than enough. You're more than enough. Many people might not know my story, won't get into major details, but I'm 4 years out from a 34-year marriage. 4 years we were separated in the same house, which is the same as being married, right? So I can tell you that just don't blame yourselves. Just don't take that blame, and know that you're more than enough, and that you're going to get through this one step at a time. And you just be happy with wherever you're at. And I would say that one of the biggest things that helped me was being grateful. Having an attitude of gratitude has determined and allowed me to go higher in my altitude. So stay strong, try to be calm, and just keep coming in Rhashida's and other people's classes, and just know that you're in the very best place. Circles, you can really grow in circles. Be vulnerable and share. You know what I'm saying? And allow yourself to heal, because people really are loving and supportive in these groups.
Thank you for sharing, Beth. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you as always. So I want to leave you all with this. One of my favorite quotes by Nelson Mandela. It's, "The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear just by being there. Looking at the problem or at the darkness of your thoughts straight in the eye and deciding that you won't surrender to it. You won't surrender to it. You won't let it shallow you. You are being the bravest you can ever be and starting the path to your personal freedom. You are starting the path to your personal freedom. Not anyone else's, but yours. I want you to be able to identify yourself on today and beyond as a priority. Your personal freedom is yours. You have the choice to make it however you want to make it. Again, this is just a chapter in your life. This is not your whole identity. Divorce, separation, breakup, heartbreak can consume you. Don't let it. Right now, you have to fight for your joy like your life depended on it, because it really does. Your joy is your personal priority. Your joy is your personal priority. As I always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. So please do something this week and the days to follow to fill your cup. Ensure that your cup is being filled. Ensure that your cup is being replenished. Surround yourself with people who can help you replenish your cup. Surround yourself with people who are going to bring out the joy in you, who are going to bring out the good in you. And if you don't have those people, then I want you to bring out the good and the joy in you yourself. Thank you all for trusting me with a part of your story this evening. Thank you all for allowing me to hold space with you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your evening. Take care, guys. Good night.